Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Kylie. I am a licensed medical esthetician and also the owner of Skin Facial Spa in Largo, Florida. So for today's video, I'm actually going to be doing a skincare Q&A. I have a feeling this is just going to be part one because I don't want to make this video super duper long, so I'll probably have like several other parts of this video. Anyways, I asked you guys on Instagram to send me in your questions for today's videos, so all of these questions are going to be coming from you guys. So hopefully I can answer some of the questions that you guys have, and of course if you want further information you can always DM me and I'll be happy to answer any of your questions anytime. So let's go ahead and jump into it. I have them written down on a clipboard here, so if you see me looking down, that's what I'm doing. Okay. First question is, how do I get rid of blackheads? So this is definitely a question that I get a lot. It's definitely something that I think almost all of us struggle with. And it's actually something that I struggle with all the time. I get the worst blackheads on my nose. And so I think this is a really good question. So first of all, blackheads are opened up clogged pores. So basically they're pores that are open and they oxidize because of all the air that they're getting because they're open and not closed. So things that you can do at home for getting rid of blackheads is to use a beta hydroxy acid, which is an oil soluble, the only oil soluble beta hydroxy acid chemical exfoliant, which is salicylic acid. So salicylic acid comes in many different forms. They can come in a cleanser, an exfoliator, a serum, a cream, so many different things. If yours are really bad, I would definitely recommend using some type of cream or serum, some type of treatment product that will stay on the skin that you have to sleep in, because it's going to obviously have a longer time on your skin to work and do a better job. When you're using something like a salicylic acid cleanser, you're obviously just rubbing it in for 60 seconds and then washing it away. So you're not going to get a whole lot of benefit out of that. Also, as far as professional treatments go, you can definitely come in and get a good ultrasonic skin scrubbing. It uses ultrasonic waves to vibrate underneath your skin and pull out those blackheads. Really good for extractions, and blackheads can be extracted during your facial as well, if you don't mind a little bit of pain, because we got to put a little bit of pressure in to get those out. Alright, the next question says, I have a lot of dry patches on my cheeks, but I'm scared to moisturize them because they get oily everywhere else on my face. Okay, so first of all, something that needs to be said is even oily skin needs a moisturizer. No matter what type of skin you have, it needs to be moisturized. And you might be really oily because you're not moisturizing and your body is actually overproducing sebum, causing you to actually be more oily than you naturally would. So you definitely need moisturizing. There's a difference between moisture and oil. So just wanted to throw that out there first of all. But second of all, for those of you with dry patches, the first thing you're going to want to do is gently exfoliate. So I would use an alpha hydroxy acid, an AHA, a couple times a week, and that's just going to help you scrub off that dead skin if your dry patches are flaky at all, and kind of help with just any flaky dry skin, exfoliating that off. The second thing you're going to want to do is get an occlusive moisturizer, and I recommend using this all over your face, not just on the dry patches, because from what it sounds like you're not putting moisturizer on the rest of your face because you're oily, which doesn't really make any sense, but I understand that's a lot of people think that if they have oily skin they don't need to moisturize, which is actually a myth. So occlusive moisturizer. And then the next thing that I would do is I would purchase the CeraVe healing ointment, and I would apply a thin layer of that as my last step in my skincare routine and sleep in that. And what that's going to do is it's going to help your moisturizer absorb a little better. That's also going to help your skin heal from, you know, the trauma and the dryness of dry patches. And it's also going to create kind of an occlusive protective barrier to try to clear that up and heal it, and also make sure that it doesn't happen again. Also, if you do get dry patches often, you might have eczema. So if that's the case, if that's something that you've been dealing with for a long time and you've tried chemical exfoliants, you've tried an occlusive moisturizer, I would probably go see a licensed dermatologist so they can get you on a medicated oral or topical solution. The next question is from a client of mine, and I actually mixed up the words a little bit because it was kind of a long question and I didn't feel like writing all of it down. But basically the gist of the question was that you're always telling us not to pop our pimples at home, so what can we do instead of popping our pimples? So obviously my number one response to this would be to come see me and let me pop them and extract them properly, which, since I know this girl is my client, she already knows that. So things you can do at home if you can't make it into an esthetician. The most important thing you can do is not to pop them. Don't touch them. Don't put your hands on them at all. What you can do is you can put on a spot treatment. My favorite one is our acne lotion from the Clear Cell line, and it's a 5% benzoyl peroxide. And just apply that every single night, and I promise it will go away without you popping it, okay? And if you absolutely feel like you need to pop it, which you know I never suggest, but if you have like a really big whitehead that you know is ready to come out, just take 2 things of tissue or paper towels on your knuckles and be very gentle. And if it doesn't come out the first time, don't try it again. That's it. Okay, but the spot treatment is really important. It's definitely going to kill the bacteria and flatten it and clear it up. You can also do a high frequency treatment if you have a high frequency machine at home. If you don't, again, that's something that we can do in the treatment room after extracting. It's going to help kill the bacteria and also flatten the pimple as well. The next question is, what is a good basic morning routine? Okay, I love this question, and I don't think it's something that I've talked about before, but a perfect basic morning routine is going to consist of, first of all, a cleanser. And honestly, a lot of people are going to be shocked that I say this, but it's not necessary. If you've done a really good job at removing your makeup the night before, washing your face really well, it's not 100% necessary that you use a cleanser in the morning. You can't just rinse your face with cold water. But of course, if you know you're not the best, cleanser at night, and you don't really do a deep in-depth job at night, then wash your face in the morning. The next step is going to be to apply a vitamin C serum. So important, especially if you're dealing with any kind of sunspots, discoloration, pigmentation, acne, scarring, so many things. It's also going to help your skin fight off any environmental stressors throughout the day, and hydrate, brighten, plump, all these good things, lots of antioxidants. And then the last step in the morning would definitely be your SPF, which we all know is very important to protect your skin from UVA and UVB rays. It's gonna help really prevent premature aging, skin cancer, discoloration, pigmentation. So you're definitely gonna wanna use an SPF moisturizer as your last step, or just a regular SPF, and then you can add a moisturizer into your routine as well. I personally just like to use the Prevention Plus because you get a moisturizer and an SPF all in one. Just makes things a lot quicker, and it feels really good and looks really good on the skin. The next question is, can your diet affect your acne and your skin? So yes, your diet can affect your acne. It's not something that happens to everyone, but it is a pretty common thing. So if you want to know kind of food groups that you should avoid if you think that diet could be affecting your acne, which in most cases, if you've tried everything that you know how, then it definitely could be your diet. I would definitely meet with an esthetician or a dermatologist to kind of rule out causes of your acne and flare-ups of acne. But food groups you can avoid is dairy, red meat, and refined sugar and carbs. Those are the most common causes of acne flare-ups. The next question is, how can I exfoliate with acne? So this is actually a really good question. So if you have acne, I definitely do not recommend that you exfoliate with any kind of physical exfoliant. So no scrubs, no little exfoliating beads, nothing like that, because it's just gonna inflame your acne further. It's gonna make it more red, more swollen, and it's gonna look a lot worse. So instead of using any kind of scrub, what I would do is I would use a chemical exfoliant. Like we talked about before, the beta hydroxy acid, salicylic acid is going to be the best for treating your acne because it is oil soluble. So it's going to really penetrate deep into your skin, unclog your pores, and treat the acne. But you can also use alpha hydroxy acids. They're a little bit more gentle. But if your specific concern is definitely acne, I would just use a beta hydroxy acid exfoliator. And I would only do that about 1 to 2 times a week. You definitely don't want to over exfoliate because that is going to make the acne worse. The next question is, how can I fade acne scars? So as far as products, I would recommend using a vitamin C serum. I would recommend using sunscreen, obviously. And then another thing you can do is exfoliating as well. Alpha hydroxy acids. If you still have active acne, you can definitely use a BHA, but if you're over the active acne and now you're just looking to fade scars, you can definitely use an AHA, like a lactic acid or a glycolic acid. And then for professional treatments, I would definitely recommend microdermabrasion, microneedling, or dermaplaning. It depends on how superficial your acne scarring is. If it's really superficial, I think just a microderm would be fine. If it's a little bit more deeper and pitted acne scarring, I think microneedling is going to be your best bet. The next question is, why can't I use witch hazel? So I posted a few things on my Instagram story about hating witch hazel, and I guess a lot of you guys did not see my skincare trends you need to ditch video. I know it was pretty long. I'm trying to not film such long videos to keep you guys interested, but I'll go over it again, why you should not use witch hazel. Witch hazel is actually an astringent, which means it's going to strip your skin of all of its natural oils. And even if your skin is oily, because that's most likely why people use the witch hazel, is because their skin is oily and they think it will reduce the amount of oiliness in their skin. So even if your skin is oily, like I said, your skin still needs moisture. So we don't want to strip it of all of its natural oils. Those are meant to be there for a reason. So there's 2 scenarios in which witch hazel will probably make your skin a lot worse. The first one is that your skin gets so dried out that your skin will actually overproduce sebum or overproduce oil. So your skin's gonna end up a lot more oily than it even was before you started using witch hazel. The second scenario is that your skin is gonna get really dehydrated, and then you'll end up with just really dry, dehydrated, flaky skin. And your moisture barrier is going to be completely destroyed, which is going to take a lot of work to get back intact, which is really important to have a really good, strong moisture barrier if you want healthy and clear skin. All right, next question is, why do I get acne when I'm about to get my period or when I'm on my period? Okay, so the reason why this happens is because your hormones actually overstimulate your sebaceous glands, which is your oil glands. So when that happens, you get a lot of oil trapped in there with a lot of, dirt and bacteria, and it clogs your pores, and then it causes you to break out. So yeah, that is why that happens. But if you also want to know how to treat it, again, I'm going to say it over and over again, beta hydroxy acids, your salicylic acid is going to be your best friend. Also a benzoyl peroxide spot treatment. That's really going to help reduce the oiliness in your skin and kind of give it a break from the breakouts. All right, the last question I'm going to answer in this video, like I said, there is going to be many other parts, so feel free to send your questions. The last question is, what is a serum and why do I need one? Okay, so a serum is unlike any other skincare product because it's formulated with a lot smaller molecules than like your regular moisturizer or anything like that. So since the molecules are smaller, they actually penetrate a lot deeper into the skin, so they're going to give you a lot more benefits actually because they're penetrating deeper. So there's a lot of different serums out there. Basically, you're going to want to find a serum that treats your specific concerns. For me personally, I like to use a brightening serum because I want my skin to be really bright. I'm also working on fading some acne scarring as well, so that has helped with that. It also has a little bit of an azelaic acid in it, which helps to gently exfoliate. So I use our Image Skincare Intense Brightening Serum. The most common type of serum I would want you guys to use if you don't have very specific concerns with like pigmentation or anything like that, acne scarring, would just be your basic hydrating serum. something that has maybe some hyaluronic acid in it, some ceramides, because at the end of the day, like I said, you just want your moisture barrier to be intact. So moisture is going to be your biggest key, and a way to find a really good serum if you don't have any specific skin condition that you're trying to treat. Alright, you guys, that concludes part 1 of today's Q&A. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!